I've had the same thought come back to me several times over the years that we're never going to be needless. We're never going to be invulnerable or self-reliant at some point. It's just never going to happen. Even though it seems like a nice ideal to reach or strive for, if you grew up in a situation where you were neglected a lot, or somebody used your vulnerability against you or exploited your privacy, it seems like a nice ideal to reach for. It seems nice in theory, but it's not real. We're never going to get over our mother wounds, especially both mother and father wounds. We're never going to get over our need to be reliant on women or female figures, on Mother Nature. I've worked with very young people and very old people. I've worked with not newborns, but like babies who are like 6 months old. And I've worked with very old people on hospice. And at all of these phases of life, all throughout the lifespan, we're dependent on someone to take care of us. Really, many people to take care of us all at once. And there's never going to come a time where we don't need anything. Like even if you got a cabin and you lived out in the woods and lived on the melted snow for water and twigs and shit, you would still be relying on Mother Nature, and you probably wouldn't make it that far. So it seems like if we can just like embrace being needy creatures, being very vulnerable, being dependent, embracing vulnerability, embracing neediness, and the kind of primal satisfaction that comes with feeling in tune with your own needs and satiating your needs and the needs of other people, it makes life beautiful if you can embrace it. Even though the kinds of vulnerabilities that we have are very sensitive and need to be handled with a lot of care. But if we try to do the opposite and we try to crush and destroy our needs and not have any, and become less needy and more tough and shrink ourselves to the lack of nurturing that is being given to us so that we don't even need to be nurtured, then we're always going to feel like we're playing with death. We're always going to feel close to death. It's gonna turn deadly because we can't get rid of our vulnerability. We can't get rid of our neediness. But it seems like you would succeed very well in capitalism. You would succeed very well in business and all these man-made, unnatural constructs which actually now run our societies that we live in. You would do great in those if you had no needs, if you were a robot, if you had no feelings, if your feelings didn't get hurt, if you didn't have psychological needs, if you didn't have an entire history of compounded experience which literally wires your brain. It's not just like made up or the past. It literally is physical wiring in your brain. If you weren't so complex, then maybe you wouldn't struggle so much. Maybe you wouldn't get your feelings hurt in the way that you do. Maybe you could be perfect and do everything on your own and not even need to take time to build results or build capacity for things. But that's not how we're made. But it seems like when I think of me and I think of other people that I know who really strive to not need shit, to not have any needs, to be in a position where we're so powerful and we're so independent that we can get rid of our own family because they deserve it, because it's justice. People who have a hard time embracing the whole spectrum of human needs and human vulnerability. One, we were neglected by the people who were supposed to nurture us and raise us. Some people, severely neglected. We were blamed for all the hardship, as if our existence and our neediness and our infantile dependency was the reason everyone else's lives sucked, because they were just unqualified caregivers. Or if you had a parent or someone you really depended on invade your privacy and your secrets and use them against you and blackmail you and make you feel like you're, especially sexual development, they made you feel ashamed of your own sexual vulnerability, or they just invaded your privacy. Instead of protected your privacy and nurtured you, they invaded it and used it as a way to control you. Then that creates so much fucking trauma. And our brains are so big. We're so complicated. We're so psychologically complex. We have such a strong tie to the past. We just don't have a one-track mind where the past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist, and we're only here in the sensory world right now, moving ahead on one impulse. We're so heavily tied to the past and our upbringing and all this shit. So if you had an upbringing where your needs were not met and things didn't flow, just where your vulnerability and your neediness was respected and met, and there was no mess getting in the way of you and your survival. I have to get over. If you had a traumatizing upbringing and it's just habitually hard for you to get your needs met anyway, without distorting yourself and changing everything about yourself so you can be a match to the standard that other people or the world wants you to reach in order to have your needs met, because they dangle it in front of our face. It's like a capitalism agenda. Anything that humans are the most dependent on, which should be a natural right for us to have, like food, water, shelter, safety. If they want us to be good slaves, they have to create a gap in between us and our natural needs and then make us pay down to the very penny amount for us to have our needs met. Like, instead of you just being able to have natural access to water, you have to go to a fucking store and pay $3.92. And if you don't have that 2 cents, then fuck you. You don't get shit. No wonder everyone's fucked up. No wonder there's so much child abuse. No wonder people can't even have relationships, and there's an entire self-help industry for our relationships. Because capitalism dangles it in front of our fucking face. And you can't have it unless you contribute to this machine. No wonder everyone's fucked up. It's not even a personal problem. And then sometimes the extent that your needs are not being met or they're being manipulated is so unbearable. The emotional turmoil you'll be in all the time, the sense of injustice you will feel all the time will be so extreme that you'll, instead of scream even louder and cry even louder for your needs to be met, you'll just shut down and try to shrink your own neediness and not need shit and be ultra independent and invest in self-improvement and self-help, instead of realizing that it's a fundamental systematic flaw in the design, which they did on purpose because they want our money. And money's not even fucking real. I don't know about other places. There's no fucking gold standard on a dollar. It's not shit. And then we have to center all of our life around it. All of our needs have to be centered around this made up number. I have to go to the grocery store for my clients. There's something I fucking hate big places like Walmart and Sam's Club and these big massive. I feel like I'm in a war zone. Because I think it's just the baseline principle. Why the fuck do I have to pay for a gallon of water? Why the fuck is coconut water $7 for 1 liter? And the ones that they sell don't even have the natural potassium content anymore. There's nothing in the fucking coconut water. No wonder everyone is fucked up. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't even think there's anything that one individual person can do about it. I'm just acknowledging that it's fucked up. But when we live a life where we try to shrink our own needs down and not be vulnerable, and we try to adapt this stoicism mindset, oh my fucking God. They push stoicism so hard over all other life philosophies, especially on YouTube, the CEO mindset, the alpha. They push it towards women too. It's not just men. The alpha mindset. Not considering that Marcus Aurelius and all the other Stoics, they were alive during war times. We're in a fucking war. That's the philosophy that they want us to adapt. When we try to do that, and also they had to push that mindset because they were in a fucking war and most of these men were going to die young anyway. Stoicism is just setting ourselves up for as if we were Roman soldiers in a fucking war about to die and gay. Yep. I don't know what to do about it. And also, this is how backwards our society is. They say the new year starts on January 1st. When it's winter, when naturally not just animals but humans are in hibernation mode too. We're resting. All of nature is underground. It's resting. This is our rest phase. And they want us, and then they're everywhere. I go on fucking TikTok around New Year's. Get this Pilates plate. Get this back machine. Do this, you fat bitch. Go to the gym every fucking day. Do all of this. Someone's gonna take your man. Get the fattest ass you can possibly have. Hurry up and drink this water. Blah, 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 blah. And they go crazy with it. And it's winter. It's so out of alignment with nature. Ugh. But when we try to live in a way that aligns with our world, where we're trying to crush our vulnerability and crush our wide array of unmet needs and be needless and not humiliate ourselves and be stoic and shut ourselves down, we're always going to feel on the brink of death, because we're literally playing with life. We're playing with nature in ways that we aren't supposed to, but they make so much fucking money from it. It's never gonna stop. But instead, when we embrace that we have a whole wide array of needs and they're never going to end, ever. I've worked with old people before on hospice, and when they were in their sleep, they would make the sucking motions with their face as if they were reaching for a breast, like they become infantile. And it makes me think like, wow, we're never going to get over our dependence. But of course they try to use that to humiliate us and make us seem like we're bitches or we're wimps or whatever. But I've seen it at all spectrums of life. In people's sleep, when we're the most unaware of ourselves. This is how we are. So I think instead, trying to live a life where we embrace that we're very needy and we deserve leniency and grace for everything. Literally everything. We deserve to get off the hook for everything, or to be met with forgiveness and compassion for everything. Life will probably be a lot better. But I still feel this way. The only time we will ever hate someone or want to hurt someone or even kill them is if we are very dependent on them, is when they make us feel very vulnerable. And they bring up a need in us that we have dedicated our lives to trying to destroy or get rid of. They bring up trauma. I still feel like this. I still feel like you can desperately need your mother. You can desperately need your father. You can desperately need people you are dependent on. And you can still hate the fuck out of them. And you're entitled to, because you're dependent on them. And it's just like a natural progression of emotions. When you're dependent on someone and your needs are not being met, you hate them. But hate is also just like, it's the opposite side of love. You love them and you hate them because you need them. You're dependent on them. Anyway, I'm at work, and I swear some of these clients that I see, they do depend on me. And they have to, because their families, they sign them up for services, because when people get older and they have all of these medical needs and they have all these needs and shit, it's too dangerous for the younger generation and their actual family to do the job themselves, because family drama will get so bad. They need like a neutral person who is being paid by insurance. Otherwise, they're going to start hating me too if they have to pay out of pocket. They need a neutral person who is not related to them to do the work that otherwise could easily lead to exploitation and their kids robbing them or abusing them and taking out their lifelong revenge plots on their parents and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, some of my clients have very strong feelings, and at the beginning of the day, they hate me, and then at the end of the day, when the task list is done, they love me. it doesn't impact me that deeply because I'm just aware that this is how anyone will be when they're dependent on someone. Anyway, I have to get in here, otherwise I'm going to be late.